just like any project, we aim and strive for completing it, as we like to call, in the Joe Hall way.
My initial thoughts with the Arborlawn project was it was just a perfect project for Joe Hall Roofing, very well suited to the type of projects that we like to do. Joe Hall Roofing has really found a niche with faith-based projects simply because we're able to come in and you're not just selling to a homeowner or business owner. You've got a team of people involved, all of whom have different desires for the building, for the use of the money, and we understand that.
My name's Mark Mattson, and I'm a member of Arborlawn United Methodist Church, and I'm the chairman of the trustees. We're responsible for the physical plant and the improvements and maintenance of it. This was a pretty involved project. This was a major undertaking for us, and frankly, we didn't have a lot of expertise in commercial roofing. We had gotten some quotes from different roofing contractors, but really didn't know how to interpret them. They were very broad spectrum, from minor repairs to complete redos.
When we first met with Arborlawn, it became evident they were overwhelmed with the amount of selections needed and what lay in front of them with their insurance settlement and so forth. We really were able to come in and get them comfortable with the process, inform them what this might look like, and partner along with other roofing companies, giving them bids. It became evident that they really weren't quite ready for a roofing bid. They had a long journey ahead of them. They didn't have an insurance claim that they felt good about. They weren't quite sure what direction to go. Pulled everything together for them and let them get down the road, and then circled back when they were ready to bid the project.
They offered to help us interpret the different proposals and then write specs if we needed, and then ultimately select a roofing contractor.
With the complexity the job brought, we had just about every type of trade you can imagine in the roofing world, from flat roofing to shingle roofing to metal roofing, metal coping. So with that just came the conversation of, hey, we need to be in cohesiveness coming into this project every day.
This, to me, was a pretty complicated job in that we've got nearly every kind of roofing that you can have in a commercial application, from our original sanctuary that has a really steep composition asphalt shingles to the new part of the building that has metal roof and actually copper cladding, to some flat roof with TPO that had water standing on it.
Some unique challenges that really stand out for the project start on the flat roofs and work their way up to the metal systems that we had to install. The flat roof, one of the big problems that the church has faced for actually decades was improper drainage on the flat roof. So coming into the project, we knew that was going to be a big key item that we needed to address with a fully tapered system. That was a puzzle within itself, and that was one of the 5 phases that we had to attack on this project. An additional problem that we faced, not really a problem, just difficult situation, just due to location of the metal, was what we like to call the football. We called it the football just based on its architectural design, but attacking that within the timeline of wanting to get this project completed before the holidays, that was going to take quite a bit of coordination with the church, which we're no stranger to.
Josh was the project superintendent, and he would send a detailed schedule, like a PERT chart, if you will, of what was to be accomplished that week, which areas of the roof that they were going to be working on, a forecast of what was going to be done that week, and then an actual summary of what was done.
I've been in this business for 15 years, and looking at this project, it's a very complex job. It takes a lot of coordination with the crews and the customer. Main concerns is safety, ground safety, making sure everybody's safe, and as well as the roofers on top. Manage the project around the church's schedule with Herman, the facilities manager. He lets us know if they have any services or anything going on inside the church, and we work our way around it.
My name is Herman Holbert. I'm facility director here at Arborlawn United Methodist Church. I work pretty close with Joey, making sure that all access points to the roof and everything were available on a daily basis. We were really pleased with the work that was done as far as the roofing is concerned, and their concern for the, like I say, the daily activities of the church, not to disrupt any of it.
Joe Holt Roofing ensured safety of the project on a day-to-day basis, really just through our strict communication and how we laid out our phases within the project, where we might be working on the north end of the building and we had the south end of the building opened up for day-to-day, ingress, egress. As each day went on, we might have a crane out there one day and then, 2 cranes the next. I think we had just under 24 crane visits on this project. As we also expand on scope of work, where we did not just roof out there. We had to coordinate quite a few HVAC rooftop units that we ended up replacing, servicing, and retrofitting as needed.
If somebody were to call and ask why I should do business with Joe Hall Roofing, I would say because they're professional, they had their own employees, they maintained a schedule, they provided us a schedule. We knew that we were going into the busiest time of year for us before Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we had some hard deadlines that couldn't be missed. They stayed on top of those. I think we probably actually finished a little bit ahead of schedule, and more importantly, there were no financial surprises along the way.
Some final words on the Arborlawn project is, from the beginning, we always do our best and strive to do it the Joe Hall way. And as we look back and reflect on what this project now looks like and the why behind what we do, the church gets to continue their operations and not have to worry about any sort of leaks.
And I'm looking at it and I'm just proud of my guys. They did a great job in installing this roof system. It was a very complex job. It took a while, but these guys came together, we worked as a team, and we got it done.
I would recommend Joe Hall without reservation.